Well, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump is once again going up on Polymarket. Trump is now tied Kamala Harris. And when it comes to this betting, I always tell people it ebbs and flows. It'll go up, it'll go down. You can see Trump all the way up to around 71, 72. That was when the whole Biden charade was happening. Were they going to switch him out? Then he drops all the way down to 45, and then he goes up a little bit to around 50, 51, falls back down. He's been around 46, 47, down by 3 or 4, but now he is tied with Harris. And believe it or not, when it comes to the overall betting odds, as long as Trump can keep it close to 50-50, I think he's fine. But the betting odds, normally the favorite always wins outside of like 2 or 3 times in the past, I think like 10 or 11 elections. So this is very important that Trump stays within shouting distance, although this can be manipulated with money. I do think there's been some positive movement over the past 12 hours, mainly based on what happened with the JD Vance debate. And another thing to kind of show you JD Vance and how he performed. And so this is a good graph that explains the performance of JD Vance during that VP debate. You can see Walz was the favorite, and I say favorite like this because what this is mainly based off of, people were shocked. They were like, how is Walz the favorite over Vance? It makes no sense. Well, I agree, but this is mainly based off of a composite of polls on who won the debate, and it's mainly liberal pollsters. Like CBS News came out with a poll, and it said Vance won the debate, but like by 1 point. CNN came out with a poll that said Vance won the debate by 2 points. It's total gaslighting. I mean, it is clear that JD Vance, when you look, and even independent voters, they were doing panels left and right. The New York Times panel, 64% of the independent voters said that Vance won. There was another small panel, 12 out of the 14 voters said that Vance won. Vance clearly outclassed Walz. Obviously, liberals are going to say Walz wins because they're liberal and they're biased, and conservatives are going to say Vance wins because they're biased, but the independents are saying Vance outclassed Walz, and it's depicted here. You can see Walz was around 72, 73% chance to win the debate, and it plummeted all the way now to around 33% chance. That's really when the debate started. Walz came out really slow, and the question is, will this impact the actual polls? Will we see more positive movement when it comes to the swing states because of the VP debate? I'm going to say, unfortunately, probably no. Although you could argue, based off of the drastic difference between Walz and Vance's overall net favorability, that this could help more than we expect. Although I am getting kind of nerdy with it in digging deep. But normally the VP debates don't have a huge impact, and liberals have they've run their whole propaganda stuff. I knew it was going to happen last night. Oh, it's a tie. That's what when you lose a debate, you say it's a tie. And so that's what they've done. But I will be fair to like CNN. CNN did say that Vance won the debate. But you got like MSNBC getting triggered. It's crazy. But Vance clearly was very impressive, way more presidential than Walz. We knew it was going to happen. Walz said he wasn't a good debater. He didn't debate. And Kamala Harris was having nightmares about it. She was freaking out, and this is the result. So I do think there could be a slight, I mean, it just shows you that the Trump-Vance ticket is so much more presidential and so much more ready to lead than Harris-Walz. I mean, really, both of them seem unqualified. Walz, if you watched him in the debate last night, he didn't seem qualified, and I think part of the reason he was picked was because Josh Shapiro is Jewish, and not only that, you've got Kamala Harris. She didn't participate in the primary. She didn't have any debates against any other Democrats. She didn't get any votes. She's there and she's propped up because Joe Biden had a horrible debate and he's very old. That's the only reason why she's there. There's no actual movement behind Harris-Walz. It's all manufactured. So I think this is a very, very good thing. I'm not sure it's going to have a huge impact on the polls overall, but I do think we are seeing a little bit of positive movement because there is general consensus that Vance did win the debate. It's just a VP debate. We know the presidential debate really didn't have much of an impact on it, so you would think the VP debate probably not going to have much either. But I do think that, it's a little bit heightened this cycle because of Trump, and it just seems like there's more people paying attention to politics this go around than in previous cycles. You've also got this. This is from Cook Political. They've been terrible this entire cycle. They've been very left-wing. They've got Harris +3 in Michigan, +2 in Wisconsin, +1 in Pennsylvania, +2 in Arizona. That Arizona poll doesn't add up based on what we've seen. Nevada Harris +1, Georgia is Trump +2, North Carolina's a tie. Yeah, Cook Political has been very liberal. Their polls have been off the entire cycle, so I don't put much stock into that. That's actually probably good numbers for Trump when you look at that and you look how close it is and it's within the margin of error. Our prediction that Trump has a lead in the Rust Belt has now come true in recent polling. That is correct. I mean, Pennsylvania has swung. Trump's up by like 1.5. If you take away the outlier from Bloomberg, you look at Wisconsin, it's like 50-50, which is really good for Trump based on how he overperforms in the polls in Wisconsin. Michigan has turned like crazy. There's reports from the Senate campaign, from the liberal Senate campaign, that she's underwater by like 3 or 4 points. And Atlas Intel, one of the most accurate pollsters, comes out and says Trump's up by 3.5. Kamala's path is really beginning to narrow. I think her path is they're going to try and say she can win Georgia and North Carolina, and it's some crap thing like that. I mean, she's got no path. Let's be honest. The Sun Belt is looking very bad for her. That's absolutely right. Arizona is slipping away. And Nevada, I don't know how much they're going to fight for Nevada. It's 6 electoral votes. I think it's going to be very close, but I think Trump will go over the top. Trump deserves to win Nevada after what happened with the no tax on tips and the copying of that. That's just pathetic. I mean, it's a literal copy and paste of that policy. And I mean, it is just 6 electoral votes, but seriously, it is pretty crazy. You've got this CBS News still trying to play this whole game. During the VP debate, JD Vance claimed that Kamala became the appointed border czar. CBS News confirmed that it is false. And so whenever this comes up, because listen, this whole thing started back in 2021 when the media called Kamala Harris the border czar, and then they had to retract it a few months ago when Republicans started pointing it out because they said, oh, we messed up and she actually wasn't the border czar. None of that really matters. The reality is she supported everything that Biden did. She probably wanted to be more liberal with border policy than Biden. It's like this whole idea where we're arguing this factoid, was she called the border czar or not? None of it actually matters. What matters is all of the executive orders that Biden signed in 2021, and JD Vance hit the nail on the head last night, thank God, because Trump really didn't talk about it, but JD Vance, that's exactly how you argue with these people when they start talking about a bill that, oh, they say Trump influenced not passing when it came to the border. No, you ruined the border when Trump had the lowest illegals entering the country we've seen, and you ruined it, and you called Trump racist for having strict border policy, and now you're that border, the border bill that they wanted is so unbelievable. In that bill, remember, this is the Democratic like love letter bill to where we're like, okay, we messed up with the wall. We're going to try and fix it. We're going to do a bipartisan bill. It includes money for Ukraine. It includes amnesty. It includes letting in 1.8 million illegals every single year. At least that's a legal thing that they can do according to that bipartisan bill. And then they blame it on Trump for not passing. So see, the gaslighting is just amazing. But Vance was 1,000% right in how you argue with these people on the border. I don't give a shit about your patchwork bill. That the only reason it's there is because you messed up on the border 3 years ago when you took out all of Trump's policies. Not only that, you gaslit all Republicans, called us all racist because we had too strict laws when it came to immigration. And this whole thing with the borders none of it matters. She wants illegals into the country. She's giving them all amnesty. It doesn't matter. It's anecdotal. But it's like, oh my God, she wasn't actually the border czar. All the media said she was, but no, their campaign said no. None of it matters. She wants illegal immigration. That's what matters. Look at the policies. Look at the actions. It's funny how now, where was any of this in 2022, 2023? All of this simping, we're going to go hard on the border. We're going to be badasses. I was a prosecutor. Where was any of this in 2021, 2022 when she made fun of the idea that the border was a mess and said, oh, I've never been to Europe. I've never been to the border. They didn't need votes in 2022. Now they need white people from the Rust Belt who they've been calling racist for the past 3 years. They need their votes. So now, see how it's so disingenuous. And then this is just crazy from Joy Reid. She's got the self-awareness of a cantaloupe. Quote, Democrats want to see someone get up there and give a knuckle sandwich to Donald Trump. I think they want to see a little bit more than that. I think they might want to see Donald Trump's head blown off. But no, the tolerant left would never, guys. They would never. Oh, wait, 52% of them said they don't care if he gets assassinated. Oh, that's just a bad poll. That's all right. I mean, really, if they believe it, they think Trump's Hitler. I mean, it's not surprising. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.